Hello, I'm Ben. Welcome to the channel. So today I want to talk about our president once again and what he's doing. And I don't think, at this point, I don't think Donald Trump knows how to help himself. And I want to come at this from a different angle because the world has seen this before. What he did over the weekend was he published a horrible picture of Candace Owens, and getting some background on the picture. The picture he posted was after an event where she was fighting for her very life. She was very sick and was nearly killed from mold that was in her home, and her body reacted violently from it. But Trump over the weekend published another tweet on his Truth Social, or whatever he calls his page, which is anything but truth, and says Candace Owens' stock, which has never been very high, has fallen a long way. Her attack on the First Lady of France is despicable. I believe in this case, without verification, she is extremely low IQ individual. And so in the picture, it's got Vile Person of the Year, and it's the cover of a Time magazine. And it says Candace Owens lies, uses rich white men, it says, which seems fairly racist. It says 0 fact check ratio on all credible fact checking sites. And it says she protects sex offenders. So this is what Donald Trump puts out. But Candace Owens, what Trump apparently doesn't know, because apparently he doesn't do any research. And the back end story of this is coming from Laura Loomer, who is a mentally disturbed individual. She had a brother that had a mental issue coming up, had a very violent household because of his mental issues. She herself has been blackmailing people here and there. But the point is this: she's not Christian, and neither is Trump. And what he's doing is disgracing himself even further and making people like myself and maybe you, if you voted for him, when he was saying he was a Christian and had Christians in mind. We know now clearly that's not the case. We know now that America clearly is not first. Israel is. We know now that he kills Christians. They're attacking Lebanon, and that's a Christian country. It's being attacked by Israel and trying to be settled by Israel is what's being said. And also, he posts something that says someone else is a protector of pedophiles when he himself is standing in the way of the Epstein files being released. As a sentient individual, as a thinking human being, as a person with even basic understanding of truth, anyone that reads that stuff should be able to see right through it. Anyone that reads any of that should see that he is the one that is trying to replace good with evil. And as Romans 12:21 says, it says, "Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil by good." Proverbs 15:1 says, "A gentle answer turns away wrath, but harsh words stir up anger." And then Matthew 5 verse 9 says, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called the children of God." So all of this, Trump incited on his own without being provoked for any reason when he published this stuff. And Candace Owens, if you watch her show, just watch an episode, pick any episode, and watch an episode of her show, you'll see that she's extremely intelligent. She's an extremely beautiful woman. She's married to an extremely beautiful guy. They have a beautiful family. And at the end of the day, she's one of those people that I pray for, because I do think she's fighting the good fight in this world. I do think that Donald Trump at one point claimed that he is, but now he's showing that he is not. He's definitely got Laura Loomer in his ear, and she is evil. What she's saying is evil. And if he can't see that, then he lacks the wisdom to see anything. And so in Isaiah 5, it says, "Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. That's what this guy's doing every time he tweets. And it's embarrassing that supposedly the most powerful person in the world keeps doing this to himself and proving how mentally his capabilities are shrinking. And if you watch any of Candace Owens' program, which is great, the one thing you'll see she does is she constantly provides proof with anything that she claims. On top of that, she offers prize money to people to get her more information if information is available, because the truth is so important to her and her platform. That's a lesson that Donald Trump needs to take and needs to learn. Just saying something because you can say it doesn't make it the truth. For instance, he thinks he's extremely popular across the country still, when currently his approval rating is at the lowest it's ever been. The majority of people dislike him currently because of the financial situation and how every effort he's made since he's been in this office this second term has gone against all the promises and made daily life much more difficult on standard normal folks like you or I. And all of the news sources are saying the same tagline, that this requires, short-term sacrifice for a long-term goal. Well, Donald Trump's only got 3 more years, so there's really not long-term goals in that conversation. Whoever comes after him is going to have to clean up this mess. And if judging by the assassination attempt from the correspondence dinner the other night, it's clear who the Republicans think that person is. They got Vance out first to let Trump lay for a while they were getting Vance out of the building. And if it is Vance, then Vance, I would say to you, pay attention to what you promised the American people. Pay attention to what Donald Trump promised the American people. You can't be good and bad. If you protect pedophiles, you are bad. If you help another country attack a Christian nation, you are bad. If you're trying to have and hold the Christian vote in this country, then you need to support countries that are Christian around the world. That should be the basic or the basis of the most simplistic understanding of what Christians want and should want. And then back to Trump, who's so bold in his actions and so sure that he is of God. He surrounds himself with puppets that are false. You're doing that selectively on purpose, okay? These people are evil that are in your ear. You're not listening to any wisdom. The Bible says a woman cannot be a pastor. So if you're going to have a faith-based spiritual guide or spiritual leader, it should be, if you claim to be Christian, it should be a man that knows what the Bible says. The next thing is, I would say this. If you go to the book of Daniel, and so Daniel was a prophet that was touched by the hand of God. He was sought out for the wisdom that he had and how he could interpret dreams and how what he said was to come to pass. But in the book of Daniel, there was a guy who was pretty proud of himself too. His name was King Belshazzar, and that's spelled Belshazar. And Belshazzar, in a display of arrogance, decided he would throw a big party for all his friends, which he thought were good, that lived very wealthy lives, just like he did, and decided in this display of arrogance, when he threw this party, that they would worship and praise the gods of gold, silver, iron, and steel, like all the things that they have used in their kingdom. And in doing so, he used sacred vessels from a temple there in Jerusalem to drink wine, showcasing his defiance against God, the real God. And so in doing this, everyone there witnessed a hand appear and write on the wall 4 words. Those 4 words were Mene, Mene, Tekel, Parsin. So the first word is M-E-N-E, and it was written twice. So mene, mene. The third word is tekel, T-E-K-E-L. And the fourth word is P-A-R-S-I-N. And what this said, where everyone clearly understood, including the wise and proud Balthazar, was mene, mene means your time is now and coming to an end, right? Tekel means that you have been measured and you have been found wanting. If that sounds familiar, that line was recycled and used in the movie A Knight's Tale that came out in the 90s or early 2000s, a very popular movie. But he's saying that you've been measured and you've been found wanting, right? And then the last word, parson, was telling him that it was his end. That was the people that were there to destroy Babylon, right? And end his term as king. And so the reason I bring that up is when you think about someone historically being so proud, yet at the same time being so wrong, I can't think of a better example. And after that, what it said on the wall came to pass instantly. His time was absolutely at the end, and his last act against what was supposed to be his God ended up being his last act altogether. So I took on this video thinking that the channel is about the Bible, about wisdom specifically, and I want to use examples from our time. And there's never been a greater example in our time of someone that's promised one thing and done another, of someone who can't see where he's speaking from at the moment, yet everything he says, everything he posts, tells him exactly where he is. And if you think people like Laura Loomer are good people, just listen to her for a little bit. Listen to her spit hate and vitriol. Do you think that's Christian? Well, she was born Jewish, and I don't think she's ever claimed to be Christian. But at the end of the day, if he's a Christian president over a Christian nation, and they just made a big show last week of how they're reading the Bible and so proud of that, I guess he forgets that Satan knows the Bible better than any modern preacher, right? Satan knew the Bible as well as any prophet that came in the Old Testament. So if you're paying attention, this should be clear. So I would say this: please pray for our country, pray for the other Christian countries in the world, and the Christians that are being slaughtered currently, as we ignore the true facts about what's going on. Pray for Lebanon, that those people can have justice and protect themselves. They are fighting the good fight and able to stand against Israel currently. Their drones are very effective in slowing Israel's slaughter down, but still Israel's at their border and they possess a good amount of our weaponry, which is the best in the world. So it's some things to think about. And at the end of the day, when you have a wise person like Candace Owens that uses proof in every one of her videos, shows the proof, she does not let people know where the sources are, but she shows the documentation and proof, most of which is on public record, so you can then go look and search it, since she tells you where it's found and everything else. So it's not like it's just something she fabricated. It's just very revealing when someone attacks her. And then the words you chose, Trump, the words you put on that picture, you actually were bold enough to say she protects sex offenders. Sir, you are the number one sex offender protector in the world at the moment. The number one in the world. And anybody that disagrees, feel free to say so in the comments. But all you have to do is look as far as the Epstein files and look at the responses you get from that. Oh, you're still talking about that? Yes, we are. Until America has all of them and everyone in them has been investigated and the guilty prosecuted, it should be on the tip of every American citizen's tongue, because people shouldn't be brought from elsewhere in the world so the rich in this country can do the evil things that they do to them. It's inexcusable. It's repulsive. And those people need justice, and we Americans demand justice, and anyone that's in between justice for those people who are victimized in this country is not good. They are evil. The Bible is very clear for calling one the other. If you like information like this and videos such as these, please like, please subscribe. I apologize for the political content, but you have to talk about some things at some times. And there's a rise right now across the world in false religions. There's a rise right now in witchcraft used in our own country because it's got a big following on TikTok. People need to start paying attention. The Bible is true. It's coming true every single day right in front of us. I'm Ben. Be good.